Hi, it's Dr. Ray here, and thank you for joining me on this video about to figure out whether or not you have an addictive personality or there's something deeper. And why is this important? Because you probably want to break that pattern, correct? So if you like this video and other videos, please subscribe to my channel and please push the bell button so you're notified when videos like this come out again. So let's get to the topic. When we talk about people having an addictive personality, that typically means it's a person who has maybe a poor coping mechanism, such as they might go into the refrigerator when they're feeling some type of emptiness or when they're lonely. It could be where they hook up with someone, where they're feeling anxious and therefore they just look for someone to have sex with. It could be a person who gambles. It could be a person who just constantly games or basically finds something that's unhealthy for them and they do that thing over and over again and it doesn't make him or her feel better. We'll just leave it at that. What I'd like to invite you into understanding an addictive personality is this, is if the person who's having that experience, meaning the addict or the person who has that addiction, if they have a survival mechanism in them that makes them compulsive. Listen to that word, compulsive, compulsive reactive, compulsive reactive. And that means that they have the propensity to behave and respond to stress the same way. Then that would also make sense that when they say have that stress, whether it's conscious or not, they just go to what's familiar, what feels good, even if it's not good for them later on. Does that make sense? I'm sure you agree with that. So it doesn't fix a person, particularly a person who we say has an addictive personality, by telling them you have this type of personality, therefore you can never drink, you can never do this or that or go to that one place because it will just turn you into an alcoholic again and whatever else. That has to be a very disempowering experience for anyone who has been told they have an addictive personality. Now, the way to look at your survival mechanism, which would mean your nervous system, is to recognize that something is happening that's making you want to reach for something so you get out of pain and potentially experience pleasure. That makes sense, right? So what's important to look at is the sequence of when that happens and what's happening to your body, such as a person who, say, starts to feel nervous, they start to feel emptiness. Most of those types of people, including myself, before I started doing this inner work, I would feel that, but I would go right to whatever that bad habit was, calling an ex-girlfriend up to be with her because I didn't want to be alone, or even going in the refrigerator to eat. So what ends up happening is that then I create that pattern. So what's strange about this is that it's like where then I start literally mapping my nervous system to create a stress comfort response, a stress comfort response. So that means that for a moment I might feel the stress in my body, and then I immediately go to the refrigerator without even thinking about it. Now it's just an unconscious pattern, and that is a sequence of when that happens. But if a person were to have those feelings, such as take pause, I know everyone can handle at least 5 minutes just to sit with it. What am I feeling? What does this feel like? Where is this in my body? What type of thoughts am I having? And what needs do I not feel are not being met in this moment? And if you were to write this in a journal or on your phone or on your computer, then you would start putting connections and you would create a disruption to, say, that addictive personality, which I don't think people have addictive personalities. I think people have poor coping mechanisms, and then they draw an association to whatever that thing is, sex, gambling, food, as a way to comfort themselves. Does that make sense? I know I keep saying, does it make sense? Because I'm literally asking for your opinion and also trying to create a connection with you, particularly if you're one of those people and you're going, wow, yes. So I need to look at the sequence of what's happening in my body before I do that thing, okay? Then it would only make sense to create the pattern disruption and then redirect you to what would be a healthier thing, okay? So many people who go down that path will go, I'll just go to the gym, or I will just stop going into the refrigerator, and things like that. However, what can happen with that is that it doesn't last very long, because the true feelings and maybe like I would say, the more transparent fears have not been discovered. And when I say transparent fears, I'm talking about really bringing more light to that. And that looks like this. Now follow this. Now remember, I just did a little exercise where I asked you those questions. We mean to ask yourself, such as, why am I feeling this way? Where is it feeling in my body? What is it that I really feel like is missing in my life? Well, if you go deeper, what you'll hear are the conversations that you negatively say to yourself, such as, I'm not enough. I'm never going to get the girl. No one's going to like me. It's never going to get better than this. Like, you will literally get to that deeper fear, such as, this is very common for a lot of men. They will feel stress and they'll masturbate. And I know if there are some men watching this, please comment on that, particularly if that has happened to you. And that's kind of like your way of coping, where you start to get stressed out and then you just masturbate. And again, that creates an association. In fact, some men will, when they get stressed, they start feeling energy in their pelvic area and maybe feel like they need a release. Kind of strange, huh? But that probably was created, years ago as a way to, again, experience pleasure. So, but if, say, that situation with that man, if we're to ask the deeper questions like I mentioned, they might go, I feel like I can't do this work. I feel overwhelmed with this. I don't know if I can do this. I feel like an imposter to do this. Like, for in other words, it's like, whether it's our girlfriend talking to us, whether it's an email being sent to us of things we need to do, to something about life that's being presented to us in a way where we feel trapped, we can't get out of our psychological prison, we don't feel like we have a grasp of it and control of our life, then of course we're not going to feel good. And if we don't feel good, we go to the comfort food and what's familiar to bring us back to pleasure. But again, if you were to counteract those negative beliefs and really transform those to where you recognize, I am worthy. This is just a moment in time that I can take a nap and get back to this. I can ask for help, that I'm learning. I'm still learning. This is not about being perfect, but just a growing experience. Then when you experience stress, you're not feeling like you have to do it right now. It's not urgent, and that, let's just say that people are going to judge you, okay? Because most of the time, things are not that urgent. I mean, it'd be different if, you are walking along the cliff and then your girlfriend slips and falls and she's like 10 feet below you. Now that's pretty urgent, and you're gonna be like, well, can I pull her up? Do I have rope? But that's not this situation. Most of us, when we experience stress, it's usually by something we see, a text message, something we hear, something we watch, and then we interpret it in a negative way. Our body has an emotional response, and either we deal with it in a positive way or a negative way. And again, this video is about how we deal with it in a negative way, which we have labeled as an addictive personality. So watch this again, see if it helps you. And also, I'd like to hear feedback, what you thought about this video. And thank you for joining me. Hi, it's Dr. Ray here, and thank you for watching this video. I really appreciate your support and you are the one who drives this channel. So if you like to be notified when new videos come out, please subscribe to my channel and push the bell button so you are notified when new videos come out. I appreciate you supporting this channel.